Before we start our podcast today, we'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we are meeting,
the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging.
It does, but are we having fun?
What do you mean?
Are we having fun now?
Yes!
Oh, what's that?
Lots of fun. What, you're going to question it?
Yes.
Where did that question come from, Kevin?
Well, I was just listening to you and I'm thinking, yeah, okay, but we're doing a podcast about the value of having fun. And are we having fun doing this?
That's a
Or is
good
this
question.
just boring?
No, we're seriously having fun. Hello and welcome to the podcast. You're here with Janine.
And Kevin.
And today we're going to talk about the value of fun.
Having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are we talking about having fun?
Well, I think primarily because you and I have been writing some tough stuff and we've been talking about whenever things are tough in life, and sometimes they can be that. They can be a tough part of your life that you're experiencing, and the importance of balancing that out and having some fun.
Yeah, that sounds good, doesn't it? Having some fun. Life can get too serious.
Yeah. And I think when it gets serious, there's this risk of we've seriously got to address this, or we've got to focus on this, or we've got to keep looking at the challenges that we've got to address or overcome. What ends up happening in those times is you end up just suffering. And if we think about those lovely people who've experienced intense floods or fire, particularly here in Australia, there's been some really tough times, and certainly those people have had those awful times overseas as well. Those things are really tough facing, that the relentless, here we go again, we've got to look up at another cleanup, or we've got to look at another part of our life that's not working, or lack of employment, or whether it's a medical condition of continuing suffering. And those things often get addressed. We do look at them, but it's what we don't recognise is the value of switching off, the value of switching on to some fun stuff and some delight. And that it's in itself offers the body release and relaxation and a time to switch off. So then when we switch on again, we can. But it's that switching off that is as much healing as pushing on and pushing through something. Is that making sense?
Yeah, I think that's really, really important, the switching off bit. I got two friends, this isn't unusual to hear, but I just heard it yesterday. Two friends who've just come back from holiday in Port somewhere or other. Anyway, they went away for 2 or 3 weeks. I said, how'd you go? One of them said, she said, yeah, it was great. I'm exhausted. I'm totally exhausted and I don't get it. Because it's about switching off. So many people go away on holiday and that becomes a serious event. You know, do this, do that, catch this plane, set all this up and make sure it's, you know, as close to perfect as it can be, and there's no switching off going on.
Yeah.
So switching off could be, you know, in your own house, in the garden, could be anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. As well as on holidays.
As well as on holiday. It's an attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about letting go of whatever it was that you need to, whatever it is that you need to let go of. Yeah.
But I guess the reason I talked about the value of fun is that it's really healing. So let's think about our bodies like we're on and we have suffered some of the tough stuff that's happening around us, and it might be happening, particularly if there's something happening for a family member. often you can carry that along with them. And there's a certain amount of intensity that's going to take from you as you're problem solving. But if you don't switch off, if you don't calm and soothe the body, then what you're doing is almost pressuring the body to come up with a decision. And we've always talked about that, Kevin, that problem solving is creative. In order to solve a problem, I need to have all my creative juices switched on.
Yeah.
And if I'm pressuring myself, then I'm under a certain amount of anxiety that's around, I've got to find a solution. And I think about some of the people that I've worked with in terms of business, and they've got a lot of pressure on them in terms of business. And some of the models in the corporate world are now thinking about putting things like, what are they? Ping pong tables in their offices.
Yep.
And
pinball machines.
Pinball machines.
Yeah.
You talked about that one time, yeah. And it's those things that actually help the person to switch off and let go, and then their body lets go. And then when they switch on again, they're able to be creative.
Those sorts of things, like doing something, some kind of activity, like for me, it'd be pinball, or actually more recently, the last year or so, it would be basketball. I actually don't know how to play basketball, but I love shooting hoops.
Okay.
I absolutely adore it. So doing that on my own or with other people, that's a switch off to me.
Yeah, we haven't done that. We should try that. I'd like to do that.
You don't have a basketball hoop, nor do I.
We can find one located.
There's loads of them.
Yeah, they are. There are.
So the ones that are half courts are good. The ones that are just a little.
Yeah.
So they're no good because, there's no... they're good, but they're not as good. Anyway, once I'm doing it, I'm lost in it. And it's a lot of fun and I really enjoy it. And I'm not only leave behind whatever it was I need to leave behind.
Yeah.
And what you didn't talk about, I mean, I agree with everything you said, but, the difficult stuff that we've just been doing is delving into our pasts.
Yeah.
And, some really difficult stuff there and bringing it forward and putting it on paper. That's really, So that's how we come to be doing a fun podcast. But so anyway, my point is that for me, I have to be doing something. I was thinking of the opposite. So a friend of mine has really lovely barbecues, and he always does them in the summer. One's about June now. He'd want to do one before Christmas, but it was going to be pouring with rain on the day that he chose. So many people turn up. He invites a lot of people, and a lot of them turn up. And I really like going there. And when I get there, I say hello to a few people, and there's not many people there, and more people arrive, and more people arrive. I don't feel switched off. It's too intense for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I am.
So you've brought up another point, which I think is really prevalent, is that you have to find what's the thing that helps you switch off.
Yes, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I can enjoy seeing all of the people. I know not all of them, most of them.
Yeah.
But at some point, we've spoken about this, not in the podcast, but at some point, I can't be flamboyant anymore. My introversion, if that a word it is now.
Yes,
anyway,
it is.
takes over and I have to retreat.
Yeah.
And he often says to me afterwards, he goes, "Did you enjoy that?" And I say, "Yeah." He said, "I sort of noticed after a while that you weren't there." I said, "Well, I stayed as long as I could and then I needed to be on my own." Yeah.
So you found a way to enjoy it your way, but it may not be the way where you stay the entire time with all those people. Yeah.
But sometimes I go to a meeting and I get there an hour before the meeting starts and I pick a friend up and I say to her, "You want to come tonight? It's a nice day. I'm going to pick you up an hour. We're going to get there an hour before the meeting comes." And she says, "Yeah, you're going to play basketball." And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to shoot some hoops." So I do that. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other people turn up early just to play basketball. It's so much fun, and it wouldn't matter if 60 people turned up. There's the difference. And a lot of people,
Yeah.
but the difference is that I'm just immersed in what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I imagine then you walk into the meeting differently. Like your body feels different. If you've just had that
Relaxed.
amount of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally relaxed.
Yeah.
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 But actually, it can make some eyebrows raise, because not only am I totally relaxed, but I walk into the meeting and I still want to have fun. And there's probably people there who feel like angry and suicidal, or I don't know, still using drugs, withdrawing from drugs or whatever.
Yeah. Or down or
just generally.
depressed or
Yeah.
sad
But,
or whatever.
Not all
yeah.
of them, but
Yeah. Yeah, of
so
course.
I
Yeah.
try and temper it. I get some interesting comments. So anyway, yeah.
But in the end, all you can do is you. And so
That's what I do. I mean,
Yeah.
So I try not to be like Asha, she's so exuberant when I arrive. I try not to be that exuberant. That's all. That's all I do.
she's quite relaxed
She's
at the moment.
absolutely KO'd.
She looks comatose on
Yeah,
the
she
floor
does.
here.
Yeah.
But that means she's not barking into the microphone, which is great.
Great, yeah. So yeah.
So there's a lot of value in it when I think about it in terms of healing. And that's the thing that I wanted to emphasize. And I know for myself, I can be, and I've proved this in my work so many times, is I can be really, I can be at times driven and switched on, and I can push myself. But the interesting thing is that can have an impact on those around me. So if I'm being driven and pushing myself, the risk is that I can be pushing those around me. And what I have done is, if I'm in a supervisory capacity
Yep.
and I'm supervising a group of people, then that can push and contrive the space and control them, and I can be intense, and that's not relaxed and fun. And yet I can still bring the same level of skill around that activity or that event. But if I'm relaxed and my body's softened, then I bring the same level of skill, but not the intensity and the pressure. That's what I want. That's what I think is the value in it. And I'm talking about the workplace, but there's so many other types of value as well. Does that make sense?
It does, but are we having fun?
What do you mean?
Are we having fun now?
Yes!
Oh, what's that?
Lots of fun. What, you're going to question it?
What? Yes.
Where did that question come from, Kevin?
Well, I was just listening to you and I'm thinking, yeah, okay, but we're doing a podcast about the value of having fun. And are we having fun doing this?
That's a
Or is
good
this
question.
just boring?
No, we're seriously having fun. Where's your fun?
Yeah.
Maybe
I
we're
think
not.
I think
Maybe we're not.
No, I think we are. I think I just got lost in a few things, including my accountant just sent me 2 emails before. I shouldn't have read them before I started, but it just... Bleh. I hate triggers.
We're going to talk about triggers later on another time.
I just hate triggers. Nothing to do with what he actually sent me. It was pretty easy stuff. He'll do whatever he needs to do. He's just asking a couple of questions, but it still triggers me.
Hence the value for fun.
Yeah.
And hence the value for letting go.
The value of letting go.
And hence
But
the
that's-
value of focusing on what is good.
But that's so easy to say.
Humorous.
Not so easy to do.
I know.
So,
I know. But
now,
it's-
if we were recording this podcast while we were playing basketball, I'd be able to let go. Isn't that interesting?
yeah.
I mean, we couldn't do that. It's not possible. But
But if we stopped for a minute, actually, let's do that. Let's do a, hang on a minute, let's do a letting go thing. I know, we're going to have a game of Jenga, and then we're going to pop back on the podcast. And
the
we're
Jenga
gonna,
is that thing where you pull the...
yeah.
Okay.
And we'll just see if there's a difference.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
We'll
Ready?
be back in a minute. Besides the fact that you lost,
I won.
you did not.
I did.
You did not.
I wasn't trying. It just collapsed.
That's the whole idea of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, how are you feeling now?
Energized.
Yeah.
I want to have another game and win.
So do I, actually.
No!
I don't mind not winning, but it's fun, right?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was extra fun having Asha supporting me.
I'm not sure she supported you. I think she wanted to distract you or help out with you losing.
And
But you did that all by yourself. Well done. You lost all by yourself. Well done.
That's cruel. Heartless and cruel.
Yeah, but it's fun, people.
Yeah. It was good fun. With Bianca taking pictures as well.
Okay, so here's a question.
Yeah.
So before the break,
Yeah.
out of 10, what do you reckon you felt like? If 10 is like fabulous, wonderful, out of this world.
Before.
Yeah, before. And then kind of 1 is low, average, no energy.
I was definitely around about 5
5.
or 6. 5 or 6.
And now?
Yeah. 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Relaxed.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's-
that's what it's about.
That's the whole idea around it.
Yeah.
It's just really allowing your body to shift.
So,
so
that's
that
that's what letting go is.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's one version of letting
One
go.
version. Yeah.
But what we did, and what I talked about with basketball, is a whole body experience.
Yeah.
Even though that's a physical
No, it
game.
is. It's a body experience as well. It's just
Yeah.
different.
But sometimes people talk about letting go in terms of like other activities. Reading.
Reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what it's doing, it's just switching off. And I'm not a big reader. I do find that reading has been one of the things I've struggled with in life. Though it does ground me and it does help me to relax.
I make up for it then.
What, you do the reading on my behalf?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you
Probably
do.
a few others too.
Yeah. But I've done other things that really help me relax, like jigsaw puzzles or crosswords or those sorts of things that are able to help you switch off and that are fun and distracting. So it's interesting. It's using your mind, and it's anything that's interesting causes you to be non-anxious. And what happens is the body just needs that time off. So then when you can switch on, you're on again. But it's just the value of fun.
So, you just said how, but I can so easily go back to being anxious about the smallest or the largest thing.
I know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how do you stop that from happening?
Oh, gosh, that's an age-old question, isn't it? There's no easy or quick answer, but I guess the core of that is going to be self-aware, isn't it? If you're not aware that you're focusing on the thing, that you're not becoming anxious, that your body's not getting more tense, if you're not aware of those things, then it's going to stay.
Yeah.
But as you're aware of
Yeah.
it, then it might be the choice to switch off where you can.
Yeah,
About
yeah.
the ways you switch off, around making a choice, around maybe switching on and having a 20-minute stress about the thing that needs to be thought
Yes.
about intensely. And,
Yes.
and then going, okay, I've done it. I've done what I can. There's nothing else to
But
be
that
done
doesn't
here
work
at
for
this
me
moment.
if I do that in isolation.
Okay.
So I need to do that with somebody else.
Again, I love that. I love the individuality about that, Kevin, and that it's uniquely the way that works for you. And I think that's why I don't like being too prescriptive, because I think it's around finding the right fit for you as a person. And for the listeners out there.
If it's on my own, then I just go round and round in circles.
Yeah.
So if I talk to somebody else about it, then that makes my anxiety certainly much less, if not gone. I was just remembering that in Narcotics Anonymous, there's this whole thing about a problem shared is a problem halved. And there's all sorts of other little one-liners like that. But it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's time to do those things. Let's not just talk about it and have the wonderful cliches. Let's do it.
Just actually do it.
Yeah.
I have to talk to somebody, and I have to make sure that they're listening too, which can be awkward. You start talking. Some of my friends, I start talking to them, and before I've got into it, I go, "Oh yeah, I know about that." And blah blah blah. And I go, "Yeah, hang on a second, Fred. I haven't finished yet."
Well, we all have those friends. There is that, and perhaps they're the friends that the lighter topics or the fun, gentle or lighter interactions are what you're going to have with them. And then there's going to be those people that you do the serious stuff with.
I think there's also the friends or people that you can have the serious stuff with, but you need to actually tie them down a bit. Yeah, this isn't about you.
Yeah.
This bit's about me.
Yeah.
We'll have you later.
Yeah. You'll never have that worry with me because I'm a heavy.
You're a heavy.
Yes. I'm sort of harder to avoid, harder to get around, and I'm going to do the heavy stuff with you. If that's what you want, look out. That's what we got.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true.
It is.
That's true.
I'm that type of person. So I'm not going to suit everybody. And I think I don't want to minimise those people who have the lighter conversations because I think that there's a place and a role and value in that. But I'm going to be that person who is the person who likes depth and the heavier, more challenging conversations. That's me. That's who I am.
It's good to have all sorts of people around.
I do need to let go, though, and have fun. So maybe this topic's for me.
Maybe. I mean, I was thinking earlier that maybe we could have picked a better time to do a podcast about fun, maybe when we were more in the mood to have fun. But actually, this is the perfect time to do it.
It is.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
And I think that was part of the choice around let's do Jenga in the middle of it. And for people who don't know what Jenga is, Google it, have a look. It's a lot of fun. It's, what are they? These little rectangles
bricks.
that are, bricks that are all stacked and it's pulling them out strategically. But anyway, we'll show pictures on our Instagram.
Yeah, we've got hundreds of pictures.
Maybe one or two will pop on it for you. So you've kind of got the idea.
I'm not allowed to put too many pictures on our Instagram.
No.
Yeah, but I will.
Okay, Yell's having a field day.
Yeah, Yell's arrived. So look out. Yeah. Okay.
There's some other values of fun, though.
Like?
Well, what we can tell ourselves can get caught in a repetitive tape of you need to do this better, you need to do this faster, this need to be more detailed, that's not good enough, I'm not good enough, you're not good enough, this is not neat enough, this is imperfect. So all those types of things can bog you down. That particular type of critical thinking can bog you down. So the having fun really interrupts that process and it interrupts the body's natural rhythms that are and can be unhealthy. So it's an interrupter.
Okay. Yeah.
So again, if we were to do some Play-Doh or something like that.
Play-Doh?
Play-Doh! If we were to muck around with that as we're talking, then again, that's an interrupter because it doesn't...
What a good idea.
Yeah, it softens our experience of the intensity, because there's something tactile happening for us where we're playing with this thing.
That took me right back.
I watched your face change, even the thought of it.
When I was in London, having left Elizabeth House, I was looking around for jobs. I was working part-time, first as a courier, which was fun, but early starts, and then working for a woman called Zandra Rhodes, who's a fashion designer.
Okay.
And that was interesting. I delivered material or finished dresses to her shops in central London, 2 shops, and the rest of the time I looked after her, basically driving her around. And that was a lot of fun, but I only did it part-time. So in the mornings, early morning, I would work in a playgroup.
Okay.
Non-professionally, although I did do many courses. So there was me and a woman about the same age as me, and we had a playgroup, and it was a playgroup full of 4 or 5-year-olds who had language difficulties, which meant that they actually had speech difficulties, or they were the children of immigrants.
Okay.
But one of the things that we used to do, one of our favourite, was making Play-Doh. They loved doing it. It was such a mess, and I loved that as well. And yeah, it was just great. They really loved it, and it was always a good opener, particularly if there were children having difficulty, which could easily be. So you could do what you just said.
Yeah.
You could get them making the Play-Doh and playing with the Play-Doh whilst you got them to listen or speak or whatever. And it was really good.
And it's interesting because I just mentioned Play-Doh and I watched your face change.
Because it brought all of that back.
Yeah. Tell me what it was like. What did it feel like for you?
Well, working there?
No, just the thought of it.
Oh.
Like in this moment now.
Just happy, relaxed, easy. I didn't find it stressful at all.
But I'm interested because I'm looking at you smiling. Your face has softened. All of you's become alive in an energized but not jumping around a crazy way.
Yeah.
I'm almost got a sense of what that's like, and I'm feeling the same because I'm thinking about Play-Doh myself, and
But it all comes back, the smell of the Play-Doh and the chemicals that you use.
But it's affecting you, but it's also affecting me now.
Yeah.
So that's the relational thing that I often want to talk about in terms of if something's happening for you, it's going to impact those around you. So I really want to think about that in terms of me. So if I'm being my hard-assed, driven, pushy self, that's all right in some context or for what's happening for me. But if I'm wanting to do an exercise and wanting to do a group activity, or I'm with my family, I don't want that. Yeah. I don't want that for me, and I don't want that for them.
Yeah. It was an interesting time. You know, I did that for about a year, and I convinced myself that I wanted to be a primary school teacher. It meant I had to go to university. So that meant that, that I applied to universities, and they all said, no, go away. Until one of them said, well, yes, you haven't got the right qualifications, so you'll have to sit all these exams, and if you pass them, you'll have to also do diploma in applied mathematics. And I did that, and I got in, and I discovered that was an awful mistake. That wasn't me going to be a teacher for all sorts of reasons. And that's where I discovered computers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
They took me from working with those children to there. But that was a great time.
Just wanting to check, did you hear the thing I said around if you're affected negatively, that's going to impact those around you? And the same is true around positively.
I'm aware of both of them, and yes, I heard, yeah. But not always aware how much it impacts or how far the impact goes.
Same. And I think the only way through that is just to stop and listen.
Are we still having fun? I don't think so. We need more fun.
I still want to get through the things that of a serious nature we want to say,
Yeah.
but I want to have fun doing it.
Yeah. That's so difficult, isn't it?
I think it's a balance.
Difficult.
I think that's that balance thing in life. Yeah.
Like the game we just played. That I won.
No, people, don't believe it. I know
I did.
Kevin's authentic and all that, but
I
no.
did. I'm sure I did. In my own mind, I did. I'm going to stop.
Okay.
Janine's going to tell us a story.
No, I didn't say that.
That's what I heard.
You said we were not having any more fun anymore. So what did you say? Will you say it?
I said we need to finish it because we're not having fun anymore. Or, that's it. I hope you have fun. No good? I'm having fun doing that. That must be Yale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine. I think we can finish there.
Really?
Yeah.
But you had a story.
Well, I did have a story.
Oh, go on then.
Okay.
Let's have a story.
So it's the supervision story thing. When I was working with this group of people, all professionals, and we were doing a group supervision thing. So I was working with other people that are in the field of counselling, and so I was in the position of supervisor and I was running the group. So I was running the group with other people looking on, and so I ran the group and it went well, and we stopped. We ran for about 20 minutes talking about a particular subject, and it went really well, and people went, yep, good job. However, Janine, it was fairly rigid. It just wasn't soft or moving. It just...
Bastards.
It was just... I like the accurate feedback. I don't mind that. And we were there for that, so I was okay with it on this occasion. Feedback's hard. Another podcast. Anyway, so here's the thing. So then I went, right. And I went to my bag, and in my bag I had one of those squeezy balls. And it's just had all those little...
Knobbly bits.
Yeah, the knobbly bits.
The knobbly bits.
But it was soft and it was a squeezy ball. And I went, right, okay. So then I said, let's go again. And we were going to go again with just after giving that feedback. And I went, okay, so I've got the squeezy ball. And I said, those people who have got the squeezy ball, they can chat and then we can respond to them. And then when they're finished, then they can pass it on. And so we did the same activity, adding to the things that had been said before, and I was running it, but it went very differently because I was relaxed playing with the squeezy ball. I gave it the power in some ways.
Yeah.
And then we did the activity and everyone kind of laughed with and played with the squeezy ball and yet still took their turns, and there was much respect within the space. Changed it completely.
Not bastards.
Well, the feedback was relevant and it offered me something. And then I did something creative with it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But it was really good.
That's exactly the same as what we did.
It is.
Well, it isn't the same because we stopped and...
Yeah.
But the same effect.
Yeah. I guess one was in a workplace context. But, I mean, I think about that in terms of my children. Sometimes I've pulled out the Jenga and go, let's do this to start with, or someone starts off a rant and we all join it in fun and jest, and it's, oh, gosh, they're some of the most fun times with my family.
Yeah. That's a good story.
It's a good story.
It's a good place to finish. It's a good place to finish because now that you've told that story, everybody's having fun. So we can stop with everybody having fun.
Are you having fun, Kevin?
Yeah, I am. I'm having fun.
Thanks, everybody, for listening again.
Thank you.
Hope you've enjoyed the podcast.
Have fun.
I'll talk to you again, Kevin.
Yes.
next time.
Yes.
Bye for now.